Welcome back to the Coffee Chat, where we talk careers, confidence, and some of those conversations that most people are scared to have out loud. Today, we're unpacking why the tech is dead narrative is false, it's misleading, and why cybersecurity is still one of the most resilient careers in the tech industry. If you've been questioning whether or not it's too late to pivot into tech, this conversation is for you. Welcome our guests.
How are you doing? Good. Thank you for having me, first of all.
Thank you for being on. I'm super excited. This conversation has been in the works for a long time now, so I'm glad we've been able to bring it to life.
Mm-hmm.
When I met you, I always like to talk about like how we met, how that looked. We met at a tech conference and we kind of had to piggyback off of each other because I was making content.
I was making content too.
You were making content too.
Black is tech.
Yeah, so introduce yourself and kind of tell our audience like who you are and what you do.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Wale. I've been in the cybersecurity space for over 12 years now. So some people call me an OG. An OG in the cybersecurity space. I have an unorthodox background. I did not study computer science in college, right? I was a finance major. I wanted to work on Wall Street. That was like my dream in college, right? I wanted to like trade stocks, kind of invest in the stock market and help company grow their fund or mutual funds or investors, kind of help them grow their money. That's one thing I had an interest in back in college. But I graduated during the recession. So there was no jobs for us. And I also had a lot of immigration issues at the same time. But I did different things, right? After college, I had to eat, right? So I had to I was doing flooring, right? It's like, doing flooring.
Went from studying to be on Wall Street to doing flooring.
I swear to you, man.
Okay.
So, I know we haven't like talked deeply, but you're going to hear some stuff today.
Okay.
So I sold knives door to door as well. I worked at Walgreens as a cashier.
Okay.
Just to make ends meet, right? So, but I got lucky once I think my first professional job outside of college was being a financial aid advisor.
Okay.
For a school called Post University in Connecticut. So it was an online school, but I was using my finance degree. I was helping people get financial aids, right? People would call me, help them fill out the application if they need any kind of FAFSA.
She was doing FAFSA.
Yeah.
Look, my auntie will be looking for you because FAFSA whooped them this year.
So I did that for like about 2 years. I'm doing financial aid, helping people get funding for school as well. Then did that for 2 years. Then Yale University came calling. I did like a lot of data. I was managing a whole scholarship fund. They had a New Haven Promise called New Haven Promise, where Yale was giving money to African Americans that meet a certain criteria to go to college. So I was responsible for dispersing of funds, doing all the analysis, making sure all the students got their money, the amount of money they qualify for. So I did a lot of data analysis there. Used a few systems there as well. So again, using some of my finance degree, learned data analysis, use Excel as well, knowing how banks transfer money from one bank to another. So I did that for a while. But that's just a little bit background. Just to let people know that you don't have to study tech to get into cybersecurity. Because look at me. I was in finance, I did all kinds of jobs, right, to make ends meet, but now I'm working for one of the best companies in the world doing cybersecurity.
So because what you're explaining to me is just like the power of the pivot, right? So it's like you try different things. Some stuff applied to what your background was in, and then some stuff didn't apply, but then you transition into a whole nother industry and a whole nother career. So how did that pivot happen?
So I had a friend. He just finished his MBA. He did a training. After his MBA, again, he did an MBA. He did a training that taught him how to do IT audits. IT audit is just, auditing systems that company use. It could be SAP, which is an ERP system, which is enterprise resource planning system. A lot of companies use systems to manage day-to-day, right? So IT audit is just auditing those systems, making sure controls are in place, making sure they have strong passwords, making sure they have a change management program, making sure nobody could go in there and make any unauthorized changes to systems, making sure they're backing up the system. So you don't need to be super technical to learn how to do IT audits. So for me, I think that's the easiest way to get into IT is through IT audit because you don't have to be technical. I feel like anybody could do it. So he took his training. He was able to get a 6-figure job. He said, "Hey, Wale, I don't know what you're doing now, but I got this opportunity for you if you're interested." I was like, "Sure." So, through him, he kind of coached me through the entire process, right? He helped me with my resume. I would call him like, "Hey, I have this interview coming up," so I would be in the car just asking questions. Hey, what do I say when they ask me this? What do I say? So just having that somebody in your corner. Like I said, I applied for maybe like four jobs. I have my resume on LinkedIn, my profile on LinkedIn.
So at this time, I just want to set the stage. So at this time, you had graduated with
a finance degree.
With the finance degree, you did a couple different things, Flooring, Walgreens, financial aid, and now you were trying to get into IT.
Because of my friend that got into it first.
So a friend got an opportunity and he was like, I'm going to bring you with me.
Exactly.
So he started to coach you.
He changed my life.
He changed your life?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Definitely changed my life. So I just remember that call that I was in the car. He said, hey, I think he when he first came to this country, I looked out for him. And I guess he was just looking out for me. So, I got in, so I studied, of course I was preparing, right? There's YouTube, a lot of YouTube, a lot of self-read. I was determined, right? I was determined that this is going to work for me. I seen the path, right? And just to see that he was able to do it, I feel like I should do it.
And the 6 figures motivated.
So again, when I first started, I wasn't making 6 figures. I started as an entry level. I started as a staff IT auditor, meaning I was just supporting the senior auditors on projects. I was still like leading projects, but smaller projects as well. So I got into a really good company, company in Pittsburgh.
Was it a tech company or what?
Chemical. It was a chemical company. They're a paint company. They make paint. Even though Sherwin-Williams, I work for a competitor called PPG.
Okay. I've seen PPG paint. Because I also think that that's the important part that I want to pull out is that you can be in IT with no tech degree. You can be in a tech role for a company, but not be at a tech company, right? Nice. Yep. Like, so you were in a tech role,
but
for a company,
a paint company,
right?
Right. No, that's true. If you think about it, every company you can think of, they're using systems. Those systems are vulnerable. So that's why cybersecurity is always going to be here forever. So they need people to make sure those systems are protected. They have the technical people that do all the engineers, right? They're more responsible for the day-to-day of these systems, right? For us on the compliance IT side to make sure what they're doing is aligned with best practices, right? So it's just me asking them a question, hey, can you let me know the password configuration for this system? They'll show it to me, right? I'll look at it. If it's aligned with the company policy, is it aligned with best practices like NIST framework? Is it in compliance with like COVID framework or ISO 27001 framework? If it's weak, I give them recommendation. Hey, based on what you have now, you guys are susceptible to a cybersecurity attack. So please change your password settings. That's kind of what we do as IT auditors. We give them recommendations. But most of the time, these companies, they have good controls, right? So it's also just doing a check. If we find anything, we just kind of get, hey, this is something that we found. This is how you fix it. And this is why you should fix it.
Okay. So for me, I want to clarify. So is an IT auditor someone who is in cybersecurity, or is like, what's the difference between IT and cybersecurity?
So you think about cybersecurity. We use cybersecurity every single day, right? If you think about it, if you're using a computer system, right, your cell phone, your Instagram, your Facebook, you are using cybersecurity by protecting yourself. You have a password on your Instagram, right? Why? You don't want anybody to get into your Instagram. You have 2FA, right? Two-factor authentication to make sure it's harder for somebody to break into your... So that's cybersecurity.
So for y'all who don't know, is when you log in and they send you that little code that you got to put in. That's two-factor authentication.
Exactly. So we use cybersecurity. I don't want to overcomplicate things for your listeners, right? We all use cybersecurity every single day. It's protecting yourself from a cybersecurity attack. Same thing, you lock your door at night, right? Prevent an attack from happening. You have an alarm system in your house to notify you that somebody...
So that's cybersecurity.
Yeah, you're protecting yourself from an online like an attack carried out by computers.
Okay.
That's what cybersecurity. But of course, in the corporate level, right, we have a whole cybersecurity department. So they have the SOC department, which is a service operational center, right? So they're looking at all the threats. That's more at a bigger scale, right? Looking at all the threats. These companies get like probably 1,000 attacks a day trying to hack it. So that's why they have intrusion detection systems. That is to identify when somebody's actually trying to break into your systems, right? So they have all those logs. So now they have people that's looking at those logs to kind of see is this a real attack or if it's like not really a real attack. So, and also intrusion prevention systems, right? So if someone does get in, right, what do you have in place to prevent that attack from happening? That's in a nutshell what cybersecurity is. IT audit, I would say cybersecurity is a big umbrella. The IT audit falls under governance, risk, and compliance. So, and these companies are required to get audited every year. From a SOX, which is Sarbanes-Oxley, which is an act passed in 2002 that requires every publicly traded company to get audited by a reputable accountant from like Deloitte, KPMG, EY, PwC. As part of that requirement, that includes all the IT systems because they don't want companies reporting false financials to the stock market. And that's how that's a lot of scams were happening back in the early 2000s, like Enron, where they were reporting fake numbers. IT audit was still not a big thing back then, but after that, IT audit became a big thing. So now it's in law. Again, job security. Job security is tied to the law. So that's why IT audit is one of the best careers, I think.
Okay, because so you went from, I graduated with this finance degree and ain't no job security to now I'm like mandated. Like there are laws to protect the job that I do, and most companies have to have this.
Yeah, just think about all the publicly traded companies in the world, and just not just in America, across the world. I've worked for a Japanese company where I was doing IT audits for a Japanese company.
So what moment made you realize like, yeah, I need to lock in on this because this ain't going away?
I think I mean, like I said, IT audit is not something I didn't even know about it in college. I didn't know about IT audit in college.
That's the thing. And that's another reason why I wanted to grow this space, because there are so many roles that people do not know about that are available and that are, like you said, they are mandated to have these roles, and they have these in every single company, every type of company. But most people don't know about this. When you think of IT, you think of the people who change your password or people conflate technical roles with IT roles. So even to just hear about this role and be like, okay, an IT auditor is under the cybersecurity umbrella, but companies are mandated to do IT audits. So this is one of those jobs that is not going away.
And guess my company, we probably go through 1,000 different audits.
Really?
1,000 different IT audits, external and internally.
So what made you passionate about cybersecurity? Because I know that, of course, like we all got to make money, right? We all got to make money, but I feel like you have some passion behind it outside of like what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, for me, of course, the money's good. I'm not gonna lie. It is life-changing money in cybersecurity and IT audits. But for me, I hear people losing their life savings. I hear people losing their WhatsApp account. I hear people losing their Instagram accounts. I hear people locked out of their Facebook account. I had a friend, 2020, like, yo, somebody sending me messages asking for money from your Instagram. Yeah, I got hacked, man. They're asking for $20,000. Because all his information, his family pictures, locked out. So yeah, say somebody hacked into my account. So basically, the way they hacked into his Instagram was, they probably got a hold of his password, and somebody was pressuring. I need somebody sent him a message, say, hey, can you give me the code? I need a code for. They probably use some kind of something manipulative for him to release that 2FA code that you talked about, right? So he sent it to the 2FA code, and that's how they got into his Instagram account. So for me, just letting people know the risk of not having strong controls around your everyday lives, right? And me able to teach people that, hey, you don't have to be stuck at that dead-end job. There's a career in IT audit, there's a career in cybersecurity that could change your life for the better. I've helped over 300 people get into the cybersecurity space through a cybersecurity program.
So that was one of the things that was most interesting when we first connected and we first met. You told me that you do a cyber bootcamp and that you help individuals that are trying to get into cyber, I guess, break into the industry, right? People that may not have backgrounds, they might be teachers, they may not have degrees, they might have other things going on. Like, let's talk about a little bit about that, because that was one of the things that really interested me.
Yeah. So again, I was in the cybersecurity IT audit space for like 7 years. I used to travel quite a bit for work prior to the pandemic, right? I was in Indonesia, I was in Dubai, I was in Japan, I was in Brazil, I was in London, Paris doing projects. So another thing about IT audit, you get to travel if you want to travel. So again, I stayed in a 7-star hotel in Indonesia, in Jakarta. The same hotel the president stayed, I was staying there. So again, it gives opportunities. So when pandemic happened, no more travel. So I got really bored. I got really bored, right? So, and I also wanted to increase my income. I know there's other people teaching IT audit. Again, it was not as big back then, but I just made a quick post on Instagram. Hey, is anybody interested in cybersecurity? And at least like 10 people hit me up. I ended up with like 5 students taking my class. Again, I didn't have any materials, nothing like that. But again, if you ever think about doing something, I think you should just start, right? Just same thing, you start your own podcast, right? And you're going to see you're going to continue to flourish. I had 5 students in my first class. This is 2021, 5 students. For me, I just wanted one person to get a job, right?
Yeah.
To prove the concepts. After the class over, I taught them, my class is hands-on. I just don't teach you stuff in the book. I teach you what you're going to be doing once you start working, how to perform IT audits, how to ask the questions, what questions to ask in your project. So I'm giving them real life experience. I also give them real life projects. So these are something that they could take and say, hey, I know how to do. I've audited SAP. I've audited Oracle. I've audited Sage. I've audited Windows operating systems. I've audited Oracle database, right? So
they have projects. So they do projects.
Yeah.
So they have like a portfolio when they finish the
Exactly.
bootcamp. They have a because that's really important.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. And I made that a point of emphasis, right? I don't want them calling me when they start working because they've already done the job. But yeah, that's how it started. Like I said, out of those 5 students, 4 of them got jobs. In the pandemic, people getting jobs left and right. Pandemic, there was a lot of jobs.
Wow, West. It was there was a lot
of jobs in the pandemic, right? So they got offers, 6-figure offers, and one thing that they were so appreciative of the way I teach. I never want to be a teacher. That is the last thing that I want to do in my life is to teach. But God has plans for everybody. So
everybody, I feel like everybody says that they want to get in cybersecurity. I honestly did not know what cybersecurity was until like 3 years ago. And ever since I heard that word, everybody is like talking about it. Everybody that I meet is in cyber or they want to get in cyber. But I just feel like everyone doesn't prepare mentally for the skills that you need to actually be successful in that role. Like what skills and mindset separate those who want to? Because you had boot camps, right? Mm-hmm. What do you feel like separates the people who make it and land those positions versus the people that fall off or may not make it far in the industry?
It's not a serious skill, it's determination. I would say determination. I've seen people that was stay-at-home mom end up getting 6-figure jobs, but she was determined. She didn't have any special skills. She didn't know how to use Excel. So Excel is a good skill. You want to hear a skill, okay, if you know how to use Excel, if you have good project management skills, if you have good data analysis skills, you could be in IT audit and cybersecurity. But for me, it's the determination that determines who gets the job, who doesn't get a job. You're going to get rejections, but don't let that stop you from the prize, right? Again, some people, it will take them 1 interview to get a job. Some people take 10, 50 interviews. I had a friend, he came to speak at my class. He said he did 160 interviews. 160 interviews, right? But again, did I stop him? No, now he's teaching. He works in Salesforce.
Oh, Salesforce, big deal.
So again, like you said, what skills, right? Of course, it's good to communication skills.
That's what I was going to ask, like, again, because when I think of IT sometimes, mm-hmm. right, or if I think of cyber, I think of people who don't really want to talk to people, right? Mm-hmm. Like you don't want to interact mm-hmm. with customers. You don't want to interact with stakeholders. How important is communication in that type of role? Yeah,
written communication is because we have to send emails. We have to draft audit reports, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to be able to put, thank God for ChatGPT now. Skins, it'll fix all your grammatical errors. But back then, we didn't have Copilot, we didn't have ChatGPT to help us draft the emails. Now it's a lot easier. That written communication after is a lot easier with the likes of AI, right? But verbal communication, right? Because you have to communicate what you're finding. What risk have you identified based on the process that they explain to you? Good listening skills too, because you're asking them a question. You have to listen to what they're saying. What they're doing, they're explaining the process to you. For example, I'll ask you, okay, how do you perform change management? They're going to go step by step how they perform change management. And your job is to be able to listen and see, okay, where's the gap in what they're saying? Of course, we're going to get all the processes in the written document as well, right? You have to read it as well. But for us to identify is by what they tell us, mm-hmm. right? And of course, we have to see evidence as well. You got good data analysis skills too, right? Because sometimes we get reports of all user employees, list of changes, list of backups, right? Using Excel to analyze data is also important in my field.
Okay. So I also want to know, like, what certifications really matter, right? Because when I think of IT, like I said, I have learned a lot about IT, a lot in a little. And I know certifications are one of those things that I always hear about. You have a boot camp, you empower people to upskill in the cyber industry. Like, what certifications are actually important? Is that CAB? Like, do you really need certifications? Like,
yeah, I'm going to say based on my experience, and I hear Security Plus a lot. Mm-hmm. It's good. I'm not going to say it's not good. I don't have my Security Plus, but I would say skip the Security Plus. Go for your CISA, Certified Information Systems Auditor. that will give you the credibility that employers are looking for, because they know that you can look at a system and you can identify risk and you could provide recommendation. Security Plus is giving is just teaching you the basics. So if I'm looking at a resume, I see Security Plus and I see CISA, I'm going to go with somebody that has CISA.
Okay, you're going to go with somebody that has CISA. So how long do it usually take for you to get that certification? Do you need a degree first? Like, what does that process typically look like? For somebody starting from scratch, right?
Excellent question, right? So they do require some professional work experience. So if let's say you work as a data analyst for the past 3 years, you could use that experience towards your CISA as well. And also, they're required to have 2-year hands-on experience as a maybe you also get your MBA or a master's degree. If you have a master's degree and 3-year work experience, that will kind of meet all their requirements.
And then when you say work experience, does it have to be in a specific field, or is it just like professional experience?
Yeah, professional work experience. So there is some requirements there, but a lot of people were able to achieve that using their college degree. And also if you have your master's, that kind of puts you at a good space there. They're not super strict as well, but so
people who are looking to pivot could be eligible if they've like went to school and got a degree and they've been working in a specific field, but now they want to pivot into cyber. They would be eligible to go after that.
Yeah, and the CISA certification is good, but you also need that training as well, because they're going to be asking you questions of how do you perform IT audits. That's where, for them, taking a boot camp maybe would come into handy to help you land those IT audit jobs, GRC jobs as well.
Okay. So for IT audit, do you need any certifications?
No. A lot of my students I've gotten a job didn't have certifications.
Okay.
What I tell them to do is work for like a year first. Your certification, your job will either going to promote you. First of all, they'll either promote you or they'll pay for it and you get a raise at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So I say, this is some people, they say somebody says don't have degrees, right? I'll say, okay, get your CISA. That will make your profile a lot stronger. So if let's say a student that takes my class and have a degree, I say make sure you study for your CISA after the class as well.
Okay. So when we talked, we did a little bragging. You said you had a student that landed a role for like $170K.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. We call them up right now.
Walk us through that journey. Tell us, what did they do differently? Because you also said it was at a Fortune 5 bank here in the U.S. And I personally went through the interview process for that bank, and it's hard. It's hard to get in that company. Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie. Interview with 5 managers, all of them picked me. I didn't pick them. But that was a really big, was a really big deal.
Yes. Thank you for that. So again, power of networking. We're going to go back to that. So I met this guy. We don't call him James. So I met James at Mixercloud. I used to go to
Really? Yeah, so this was recent.
Yeah, I met him at Mixercloud probably 2 years ago. 2 years ago, man, for me, I take my flyers everywhere. Hey, and at that time he was in HR for like 10 plus years. So he had HR experience.
Actually, we met at Mixercloud.
I know we met at Mixercloud.
Yeah, we met at Mixercloud. Yeah.
Before Blackest Tech.
We met again at Blackest Tech, but we met at Mixercloud.
Now we're here doing podcasts.
Yeah,
works.
Yeah, see? Networking.
The power of networking. If I wasn't networking, I never met you. I wouldn't be able to chance to kind of share my story as well. So we met at Mixercloud. He's in HR. It took him probably 6 months for him to make the decision. I probably taught 2 classes before he came and joined class. So he joined my class. He had a few contracts, maybe like a couple months after he took my program, right? But now the most recent job he's got, which is after a year being an IT auditor, and he had and at one point he had a job paying him almost like $90 per hour, but that was a contract, right? So again, went from HR, took my class, $90 an hour during contract.
Wow.
So of course, last year was a lot of layoffs. So he got laid off at one of his jobs, right? So he had to go back into that mode of searching for a job. Oh, like I said, he called me recently, hey, Wale, I got some news, right? And he said, I just got this offer. They gave him $150K as a base salary with a 20K sign-on bonus. If somebody give me 20K right now, I'm gonna go buy a house. Right? But that's the kind of offers you see in IT audit.
Okay.
So they'll give you a decent. The average starting is definitely over 100, but he would make $150K from HR. He probably has good negotiation skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was in HR.
He was in HR. Yeah.
So he knows how to negotiate, but he's making 150 and has the opportunity to make over 107, more than 107, because he's gonna get other benefits as well. So he's chilling.
Yeah.
He's chilling.
Okay. So I feel like right now everybody is saying like tech is dead. Layoffs are happening everywhere in tech. Cybersecurity is oversaturated because now everybody wants to get into cybersecurity. How do you feel about that? From where you sit, like, what's your thoughts on that?
For me, cybersecurity is never going to be dead. Tech is never going to be dead. We use tech every single day. We're using tech right now. Come on, and it's becoming a bigger thing with AI. So again, it's about upskilling, right? And no, AI is going to get rid of some of the jobs in tech, right? It's going to be up to you to follow the trends, right? Learn AI engineering, learn prompt engineering, learn AI cybersecurity, learn AI governance. Those are all the new fields that's going to be coming up in the next couple of years. I'm focused on AI governance right now. Even in my class, I'm teaching AI governance. There's a certification that companies are going to be starting again. It's called ISO 4201. So that targets security around AI modules and AI systems, right?
Okay.
So people don't know about that. So companies like my company, we have our certification that shows we have good controls around our AI models.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot happening with AI right now that nobody knows or understands, but it's popping up. What roles do you feel like are filling up the fastest right now in the cybersecurity industry? You are coaching your students to go into the industry. Like, what roles do you feel like if somebody was going into cyber, they should focus on? IT auditor included or excluded?
For me, I've talked to many people, right? As a coach, as a teacher, as a mentor. A lot of people were doing Scrum a couple of years back. Project manager, that's gone. That's dead. That's dead. That's completely dead. I had like 5 Scrum Masters in my last class. Yep. So because they all got laid off. But I know it could be a cybersecurity analyst. You could be a GRC analyst. You could be a IT compliance analyst, IT control specialist. For me, that compliance part of IT is where they need people. So if you think about IT compliance, right? Meaning, are your systems strong enough? Right? Because think about your company that you work for. There's probably a bunch of different applications. Just think about it. They need people to make sure those systems are secured. So you could be an IT manager, both from you could be an IT security specialist, right? So basically, you know the best controls to implement as well. So I would say IT auditor because it is required by law.
Okay.
Companies cannot really cut back on IT auditors. And there are more requirements that's coming into these laws, especially in our AI governance. So you're going to need people to audit these AI systems. How do you become somebody that's audit AI systems? You learn AI controls. There's something called responsible AI that my company do, right? So making sure we're developing AI responsibly, right? There's a whole framework that people don't know about out there, but I see it because it's part of my day-to-day. And there's a lot of companies going to start implementing responsible AI at their companies as well. Okay.
So it's so funny because you created a course, you created a bootcamp just out of passion and wanting to help other people. Give us a breakdown of what that looks like. How long is the course? What all do they learn? I know that they get projects. Like, sell me a bootcamp because I might want a $150K salary.
So the way I sell my class is through testimonials.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try to market it, but I let my past students that get jobs come and speak, and they recorded testimonials. I just normally send it. Let's say I say, I'll talk to you. I split with the class. I'll also send you the testimonials. It's going to be up to you to go to the testimonial. If they speak to you, then you sign up for my class. But what you're going to be learning, how long is the class? The class is about 2 months long. Right?
Okay.
So I have 2 versions, right? I'm going to talk about the live version first.
Okay.
The live version is normally every Saturdays for 6 hours. So for me, that's the way I like learning. I like learning in a live setting where I can ask questions as it comes up to me, right? So 6 hours every Saturday for 6 weeks. Then we have bonus classes, right? We also have classes on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, this is where we focus on third-party risk management, and we focus on AI governance. So my students are learning AI governance, so that's why a lot of my students are getting jobs because not everybody's teaching AI governance as part of your bootcamp.
Yeah.
So I'm teaching AI governance so they could talk about AI governance as well. So I do that on Tuesdays. So again, there's Saturdays and Tuesdays for 8 weeks.
Tuesday, 1 hour, it's 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours in a 2-hour class. on Tuesday. So,
And then one other question.
sure.
You said it's live. So is it in person or is it live virtual?
Live virtual via
Okay.
Zoom. So after the class is over, we have like a resume class, which is where I review a student's resume. Somebody will do the resume, I review it, I give them pointers. I show them how to use AI to create their resume. I also show them how the importance of LinkedIn, where to apply for jobs, what jobs to apply for. So we spend like 2 hours in that session. Then we also have another class, which is the mock interview class, right? This where the students that feels ready, interview them in front of the class. I give them feedback as well. So that's kind of how I prepare my students to start looking for jobs. And on top of the project, right, what are they going to learn? I have a whole curriculum, right? They're going to get an introduction to IT audits. They're going to learn IT controls, which is access control, the different subsections under access controls, change management controls, IT operations, application controls. Those are the foundation of cybersecurity is IT control. You can look it up. The foundation of cybersecurity is IT controls.
Mhm.
So we are making sure those controls actually work. So making sure my students understands the importance of IT controls, how do you test the controls, and how do you identify a risk, and how do you provide recommendations? So how do they draft the audit report? All of that is part of the class.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, my students that get judged, they don't call me because they already know everything. Yeah, it's because I go to it's a hands-on class. I give them homework. They have homework. They got it, and I give them an opportunity to present the homework in class.
Okay. So it's like project.
Yeah.
They get projects that they have to do, and then they come back and they present it, and you critique it, and you help them to.
And I'm preparing them because they're gonna start doing that in the job. So I give them some of them are shy, but some of them are eager. They're like, yes, I have a couple of students interviewing right now. I can share my text. They just say like I have this. Once he's on the final round, I'm just praying that he gets the role.
So when you said that you do mock interviews with your students, that was something that really stood out to me because I just did like 6 months of interviews, and it really is important, like how you interview, the things that you say, like that's really important. And sometimes you get in those conversations and you don't know what they want to hear, right? So being able to be coached before you get into those conversations, as well as like during, I'm sure throughout their interview processes, you're still helping them. But yeah, I think that that's one of those things that really stands out to me when I haven't taken any boot camps, but I feel like a lot of people are selling things and aren't also like really offering like real results, or for you to say like, this is a live class, you got 6 hours that we gonna do this together. I think that that's really cool because it shows like your true commitment to the boot camp and the success of your students. And then also most of the students that are enrolling, I'm sure if they sit in a class on Saturday for 6 hours, they dedicated. Like they really trying to change their own lives, which is important.
Yeah, the whole thing is not just to teach them, but to change their careers. That's my whole thing, right? I want to teach you, but my end goal is to get you a job. If I get you a job, everyone's going to ask you, hey, how did you get this job? They're going to call me.
Wale.
I want to say 80% of my students are referrals.
Yeah.
All referrals.
Yeah.
So I'm basically set for life.
So how often are your boot camps running? Because I know it's just you. So you instructing, you.
I did hire somebody.
You did?
That teach the Tuesday class.
Okay.
So he teaches the Tuesday classes.
Yeah. So how often are you starting up the boot camps? Like, what does that look like?
So I do 3 live classes, 3 live cohorts a year.
Okay.
And I have an on-demand as well. So the on-demand is self-paced. All the videos are recorded. All the materials are on the platform. A lot of students like that because they may not want to wait till the next class, right? Or they may not have availabilities on Saturdays, right? So I have an on-demand version. The on-demand version also comes with one-on-one weekly touch points, right? So they have access to my calendar and they can book one-on-one time with me to go over anything that they need as the class goes on.
So one-on-one, 30-minute session, one-on-one. 30-minute sessions each week.
But some of them don't want to use it because all the information they need is already in the videos.
Okay. So do they typically kind of come around once they start to get in the interview process?
Yep. Yeah. They also have access to my WhatsApps.
So they can reach out.
Yeah.
It's a group for them.
Yeah, so for me, it's like, I just want to see them succeed. Hearing the testimonials is just amazing, like how they were going from a different career, now they're doing really well. And also, somebody invited my student, one of my students was teaching with me this last class. She said, hey, Mr. Wale, I wanted to come join your class and see how I could help you. And guess what? I have to pay her. She's volunteering for time.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. So if somebody wanted to, I don't know, create a boot camp or do something similar to what she was doing, what advice would you give them?
It's not easy. I'll tell you that. But for me, For boot camp, is to know the material. No, just don't, know the material and know what your why is, right? Are you just teaching just to teach, or are you teaching just to help them get jobs, right? Because if I'm teaching just to teach, I would just teach the material and they'll still learn something, but they have to go figure out the other parts, right? So mine's like a full package. I teach you what you need to know, also teach you how to get a job as well. So
And how long do you work with your students?
of course, there is packages, but I was talking to one of my students that took my class 4 years ago.
Okay.
I should talk to her.
So during that time frame, like maybe at 6 weeks, is that when you start to have them apply? Like when do you start?
So there's a whole process. Some people they don't like to listen. They want to do shortcuts. But I'll say after the class is over, now is your chance to do your resume, know your resume, study your resume, and start when you feel comfortable enough where you've done your mock interviews. After I've done a mock interview, that's okay, go start applying. Because at least now you know how to defend your resume, right? And now you've created a good resume that recruiters could start seeing online or on LinkedIn or the job sites, right? So I would say understanding your resume, that could take a week, could take a month, could take 2 months. It depends on the individual.
Okay. And then what advice do you give to people that are applying in the cyber industry?
Be patient. Be patient because the competition is a lot more. You know why? Because of layoffs. So now you're competing with people that have 10 plus years experience, but then it comes down to personality, right? I tell my students, make them fall in love with you. They may be talking to somebody that have more experience than you, but that person may not be personable. So be personable during your interviews, right? And find something, go on their LinkedIn, find something on their LinkedIn that you guys could connect on. If they went to the same school, they grew up in the same city, right? Bring that up during their interviews. If they have a dog on their LinkedIn, bring up their dog on their LinkedIn. If they have a certification, bring up certification. If they like to travel, bring that up during the interview. That's why it's all like make them fall in love with you and show them you're committed, right? So do research on the company. Make them know that this is the best company in the world. Please, I'm telling you, that's what they want to hear.
That's true. Flattery goes far. Yeah. Flattery goes far in the interview process.
So make them show that you're the best candidate for this position. Show them you've done all the research that they can actually think of. Of course, know the job role, but also know the company as well.
Are there any communities or resources or other things that you feel like would be helpful for somebody trying to break in the industry or that you give to your students?
Yes, there's a bunch of communities online, right? You just do a quick search on YouTube, right? Type in the career that you want. There's a bunch of videos, right? And some of them may also have communities that they could refer you to, right? Again, go to networking events. There's a bunch of communities, tech communities. There's a bunch of tech communities, right? Get tapped in. They may have, those networking events could have, so they have recruiters. They have people that have the same interests. You may meet somebody that's in the same journey as you. You guys could kind of work together and share resources, right? So that's one of the things I recommend for people like looking.
Yeah. I think one of the things that you said that stood out to me was that you can find these roles in companies that aren't tech companies. So I feel like anybody you talk to could possibly be an opportunity because you can work at Kellogg and they got an IT department and they have a cybersecurity department. Nice. So yeah, like you said, networking and finding other people and just spreading networking about what you're trying to do.
It's huge. People don't understand how important. Some people are shy. I don't like talking, but you want to get fed, you have to talk to people.
You're going to have to talk to people. Do you have a lot of students that are introverts? Like, do you run into that a lot? Because I feel like IT professionals, no shade, they be introverts. They don't be want to talk to people. So I'm like, is that something that you coach them on? Like, you have to get out of your shell when it comes to chasing that opportunity.
I'm not going to lie. I used to be shy to speak up, like at events, at work, but in IT audit, because we lead meetings. So you have to be able to organize a meeting from start to finish. Again, that improved my communication skills, right? Not go talk in front of anybody. So again, I tell like you're gonna have to speak in class, but I'm training them so everyone should have opportunity to speak in class. Hey, does anybody want to present their homework? But they don't know I'm actually preparing them to start speaking in front of leadership at their company.
Because do you speak to C-suite?
Yes.
Yeah.
The CEO, the CFO reads our audit report. And sometimes the CFO may have questions, right? And directors, the CVPs of the particular engineering team we're auditing, they get the report there in these meetings. We have to present to them and we have to present at a level that they understand. We can't get super technical. So you got to know how to break this down and speak at a high level as well.
I want to know like one of your biggest, like maybe like mishaps in one of those conversations or in your cyber career. And then one of those turning points or a point in your career where you gained the confidence and was like, I run the show. Like I do know what I'm talking about. Cause I do think that when people transition, you have like, you know, a little imposter syndrome.
That's facts. I think I got blessed. I'm blessed. I worked for a company, PBG, right? I didn't have to do any projects for the first 3 months.
Oh, that's nice.
So they were training me, right? Okay, on their I got in January. Their first project was not until like April.
Okay.
So I got it at a good time. You know, throughout again, I was in finance. I only knew what I've learned, right? Based on what my friend taught me, as well as based on myself reading. But for me, I don't know. I think having a finance background did help because the systems are financial systems. Again, one thing I did struggle with was auditing infrastructure, which is operating systems as well. So I maybe at one point I may have called Linux. That's how I didn't know the term, right?
Yeah.
So again, those things may have happened in meetings. Okay, and then somebody, hey, it's not Linux, it's Linux, right? There's different operating systems that you got. Like people say it's called SAP, some people say SAP, right? But it's actually SAP. Right, some people still call it SAP. So knowing those terminologies, right? So I struggled a little bit with the terminology at first, but as I got more confident, I knew the right terminology and the right things to say in those meetings as well. But again, it's going back to understanding your weaknesses and working on them.
Yeah, I feel like being new is so hard, but it's so rewarding because you get to learn everything again. It's like, I can't remember who I was talking to, but it was a quote about like, you should always want to be a freshman because you get to learn as much as you can and be a senior. So it's like, that's one of those things of being like, I know all this about financial, but I don't know nothing about Linux. And now you know everything. I want to do a rapid fire round. So these is questions. I need you to think on your feet and tell me the answers for them. All right. So what is the biggest myth about cybersecurity careers?
That you need to be technical to become a cybersecurity professional. You don't have to be technical.
You don't have to be technical. Big myth. Okay. What's one must-have skill for 2026?
Artificial intelligence, AI. You got to have, I would say, learn how to use AI.
Learn how to use AI.
Correctly.
Okay. Is that in your job, in your life? Like, what is that like? I need you to expound a little bit.
I know for my job, they're pushing us to leverage AI, creating agents. Maybe creating agents. I also learn how to create agents.
Okay. Learn how to use AI to create agents.
Correct.
Okay. Most common beginner mistake.
Most common beginner mistake, thinking you know it all. Think you know it all. But I would say for that one, most common beginner mistake, not preparing. You gotta prepare for, is it a meeting, right? Or thinking you can do more than one job at once.
Okay.
I think people think I just got in and let me get 2 jobs, right? Getting 2 jobs.
Ooh, everybody overworked.
Yeah, so I think, don't try and do 2 jobs is a beginner mistake. Don't try to do it as a beginner.
One mindset shift that changes everything.
One mindset shift that changes everything. I was saying, believe in yourself. Don't doubt yourself that you could accomplish anything. Steve Jobs doesn't have 2 heads. These companies, CEOs don't have 2 heads, but just they believe in themselves. They believe in what they're trying to accomplish. So believe in what you're trying to accomplish and you get it done.
Awesome. I like that one. How do you stay motivated or keep your students motivated when they doubt themselves?
How do I stay motivated? I think for me, is knowing that the goals that I set for myself, because I think everybody has goals, right? I think goals that I set for myself, either at the beginning of the year or for my life, that's what keeps me motivated because there's big things I'm trying to accomplish and I'm just I'm just kind of pushing towards those goals.
Awesome. All right. This question is for you. This is about you. When people look back on your work 5 years from now, right? Or if you look back 5 years from now, what do you hope they say about you and what you've accomplished?
That Wale has changed over 1,000 people's lives for the better.
Okay. Awesome. That's a good goal. All right. So where can people connect with you?
So you guys can find me on LinkedIn, Wale. My last name is kind of hard to say. It's Shogbola, but it's SHOGBOLA on LinkedIn. And you can also follow my business page on Instagram. Is ONET IT Consulting, ONET IT Consulting, right? So just search it on Instagram. My website is on my Instagram as well. So LinkedIn and Instagram, you get to find me.
All right. And then one other thing, do you have anything coming up that you want to highlight, whether it's in cyber or any of your other business ventures?
Yeah. So I have my bootcamp started February 7th. is a cybersecurity/IT audit bootcamp with a touch of AI governance and third-party risk management. So they get a full GRC package as part of my class. Also comes with resume prep and interview prep as well. That starts February 7th, 2026. The first class is on Saturday, February 7th, starting at 9 a.m. But I do have a Q&A session that's taking place January 2nd. So this is where potential students would come, ask questions, hear from past students as well before we get ready for our first quarter of 2026.
And that's super exciting. Well, I'm excited for January 22nd. I might be on there asking a couple questions.
Okay.
And then February 7th, it sounds like the next boot camp is starting up, and you got some students already to get trained.
I got like 5 students that committed. I have a couple that already paid in full. So
awesome. That's super exciting. Thank you so much. This has been such a great conversation, such a wonderful opportunity. And I don't think this is going to be the last one because you got some more stuff. We're going to come back and talk about that next time.